Today on Songs of Praise, we join Rebecca Ferguson as she discovers the origins of her favourite hymn, Amazing Grace, treating us with her unique voice to a very special performance.
And I'm here in Birmingham to hear the story of an amazing rescue and to reunite the people involved who haven't met for 35 years.
And on International Women's Day, the very Reverend Lorna Hood, once named one of the most powerful women in the UK, reflects on the year she spent as the face of the Church of Scotland. And there's a fabulous mix of music, including hymns for Lent, plus a special performance from the priests. But first, we begin with a familiar hymn as American singer Kim Mazzell joins the Adventist Vocal Ensemble for this joyful sing-along.
He's got the whole world in his hands. 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 He's got the moon and the stars in his hands. He's got the moon and the stars in his hands. He's got the moon and the stars in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands.
He's got the wind and the rain in his hands. He's got the wind and the rain in his hands. He's got the wind and the rain in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands.
He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the little children in his hands. He's got the little children in his hands. He's got the little children in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got you and me, sister, in his hands. He's got you and me, brother, in his hands. He's got everybody here in his hands. He's got the whole world 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 in his
The plight of refugees across the world is as grave as it's ever been, often dominating our news bulletins. One of the biggest refugee migrations happened in the 1970s and 80s in the aftermath of the Vietnam War. And Pam now explores an extraordinary story of despair and hope, which led one man to dedicate his life to serving God.
The war in Vietnam ended in 1975 with victory for the communists. And in the years that followed, more than 1 million people fled the country, most of them left by sea in their hope of finding freedom. They became known as the Vietnamese boat people, and it's estimated that as many as 400,000 of them lost their lives in the attempt. But one man did survive, Michael Ho, and I've come here to Birmingham to hear his remarkable story and to spring a bit of a surprise on him.
Michael put his life in the hands of people smugglers who had little regard for safety as they attempted to cross the South China Sea.
When I stepped down on the boat, I couldn't believe my eyes because that's not the boat, for the sea. It was a little boat for family transport in the river.
How many were you?
Altogether 77. Most of them on the boat were women and children. When we went out into the sea was so violent. So after 3 days, 24 hours running, the motor blew up.
Adrift in the vast ocean, the 77 boat people were now totally helpless.
So we We were drifted on the sea for 17 days without food and water. So all of us, I have to say, after 17 days, we're waiting for death to come.
So was there anything that gave you a glimmer of hope?
You know that day on the boat when we escaped, there was a young married woman. She was pregnant. But after 17 days, the baby boy was born on the boat. Sadly, we have no water and the mother has no milk. And the baby, really in danger. For the very first time, I must say, I bend my knees and I pray for the baby and the mother. I said, Lord, if you are a loving God, would you do something to save the baby and the mother? And everybody on the boat could die, but don't let this new life die. So I said to the Lord, I said, if you save the baby, Lord, I promise you I will be a good man.
Was your prayer answered?
About 2 or 3 hours after the baby was born, and suddenly I looked out in the ocean. A British cargo ship from nowhere suddenly appeared, from the ocean, and slowly came closer. And I bent my knees immediately. I said, thank God I was born the second time into the world. I couldn't believe that I would survive.
Miraculously, all on board, including the baby, was saved.
Wow, what an amazing story. And later in the programme, we'll be giving Michael the surprise of his life. But first, let's join Michael and his congregation here at Holy Trinity Church for a hymn that seems so appropriate to his story.